Arthur is buffeting the Outer Banks of North Carolina. Good evening, I'm Mike Naso with this pre-hurricane season hurricane update on our tropical storm Arthur, which is just offshore the Carolina coast. Is accelerating to the east-northeast. It came within 20 miles of the Outer Banks, and they had sustained winds briefly about 40 miles an hour, tropical storm force. However, it did not officially make a landfall, and with these fronts moving off the east coast, it will loop around near Bermuda and likely become extratropical. No longer anything we'll have to watch. Here's the latest on Arthur as of 5 p.m. Eastern Time. Arthur was at 36.1 north, 73.9 west, winds about 50, expected to intensify but become non-tropical over the coming days. It's moving northeast at 14, and then that's expected to loop around, as you can see in the track here, as it weakens and moves in a southerly direction over the next 3 or 4 days. 993 millibars. You can see it did come very close to the Outer Banks there, but it did not directly impact them. Indirect impacts for sure. Look at that circulation. Naked. Arthur's naked, moving right on off towards the northeast, almost starting to look more straight east in the last couple of frames there. And look at the wind shear just blowing all the high cloud away from the center. That is unfavorable for development, which is why Arthur is not going to become a hurricane, and it will become extratropical. Nevertheless, you can see it was a rough day here off the tip of North Carolina, and definitely rip currents, high swells, high seas off the east coast. Just stay out of the water if the beaches are even open. You can see the radar out of Morehead City. Look at that. Arthur came so close to making landfall, but now most of the rainfall is offshore. But that's why we do have, obviously, if you're a marine interest or if you're going to try and swim in the ocean, that's the real threat, is the offshore impacts of Arthur. To say nothing of what's going down in Florida right now. You want to talk about a scary-looking radar? Take a look at this. This radar has shown from Miami just an onslaught of moisture moving into Florida. Look at that storm over areas of Collier County right now. Marco Island, Naples, you guys are under severe thunderstorm advisories, and marine interests need to be on the lookout for big hail, huge waves, gusty winds. Definitely not a time to be out on the water near the 10,000 islands there. A very nasty squall line, a constant fetch of moisture moving straight across Florida. We saw a similar thing in May, June of 2017, and that was the year, obviously, of Hurricane Irma, a Category 4 in the Florida Keys. So hopefully it's not a harbinger of things to come, but it may be. Moving away from Arthur to the other side of the world near India, in the Bay of Bengal, we have Cyclone Umphan. Now, we've been dealing with this. This is a one-time Category 5 storm. It's been weakening down to 150-mile-an-hour Category 4. That's like getting hit by a bus versus getting hit by a train. And it's moving north-northeast at 8. This is a very dangerous situation in the Indian Ocean because this area here near Bangladesh, the storm surge buries itself in the same way we get in Louisiana, Mississippi, very susceptible to high surge. It's the same type of deal here, and this storm is expected to just plow into land. It'll be weakening, and based on the satellite it is right now, you can definitely see the well-defined eye is just not as well-defined as it was earlier, but nevertheless, that might even be a bad thing. Because if the wind field expands, that's going to push more water right up there into the Bay of Bengal, and we're going to have to deal with it. So, Cyclone Umphan, a very, very dangerous storm in the Indian Ocean. We don't cover it often here, but compared to Arthur, Umphan means business. So that'll do it for the tropics. We'll see what hurricane season 2020 has in store. I'll tell you this, if the early indications come to fruition, you ain't even going to remember Arthur 3 or 4 months from now. I'm Mike Naso. I'll talk to you guys next time.